Welcome to the Friday Forecast, everybody. My name is King. I'm actually your boy King, if you believe it or not. And that over there, right there, is your good friend Jimbo. Another Friday is here, which means another division that we're going to be doing our forecast for. Are they probably wrong? Yes. But we're going to do it anyway, because that's what we do here. How you doing, Jimbo?
Pretty good. Not too bad. Another nice weather, cool day.
Cooler. Yes.
Cooler,
the humidity was up a little bit, but it's still August. What are you going to do? You know.
Yeah.
I just
I believe as of today, we're 4 weeks away from the opening game.
Well, when people are watching this, it'll be yesterday.
Yes.
So we are right there. We're on the cusp of the NFL season. We are 28 days away. I guess that would be, if you want to do technically exactly 4 weeks. So I'm excited. Like I said, I guess like I was saying in the countdown, which you can go ahead and watch over on our YouTube and on our main show as well. By the way, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know whenever all of our things come out. We got lots of stuff going on. Clearly, I'm excited. Like I'm starting to, you're starting to feel football's starting to come back. You're feeling it's like a spirit is coming into you. I've been touched by the football spirit. Hallelujah! Praise the Lord, the football lords above. And so I'm just I'm ready for that. But you know who's not going to be enjoying football season this year or providing anything, and God bless him, but good old RG3, man. RG3 got let go yesterday from ESPN along with Samantha Ponder, which was surprising.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I didn't think Samantha, because she was the anchor, the host there of NFL Sunday Countdown. I didn't, like, I'm surprised. Did they say, like, did they have another host in mind or something? I haven't seen that news yet. If they have it, if they've announced it or yet, I don't know. I don't know if there's something that's been in the works for a while. If they just did this now, I have no idea. But
I'll be honest, the RG3 thing, we knew. I thought he was fired the day that they hired Jason Kelsey. I thought they walked him into the office and said, "You're done."
Well, no, I knew they got rid of, they got him off of Sunday Countdown. Like, they didn't have him on there or doing any of that stuff. I thought he was still going to do some College Bowl stuff because he did, he was a color commentator on there, and still worked as far as that goes. But yep, no, they got rid of him. I think the final straw was the croissant picture. Yeah, where he's just he's Riley reading that thing. He's it's Penny Paxing it, if you will. He's just full on, just going for it, And ESPN was like, "All right, no, we're done. Not doing it." Interested to why they got rid of Samantha Ponder, though. Like, that was there. That was the one good thing Christian Ponder ever did was Samantha Ponder.
Remember him?
Remember when he was? I think it was, the Vikings, I think, drafted him.
Yeah, and what's kind of funny is maybe he could get a job at the Vikings now.
Yeah, I don't know. Although, and I said this on the main podcast on Wednesday, and I was like, "Oh, thank God, we're never going to have to listen or talk about Colin Kaepernick or everything like that." But apparently, Harbaugh has like an open invitation for him to become like a quarterbacks coach or something on the Chargers.
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
I'll be honest, maybe the best road for him.
Yeah,
like, give up the fact that you're not going to be a quarterback. You're not going to, that is done. You're 7+ years or whatever.
Yeah.
If you still want to be in the game, if you still want to be involved with football, with the NFL, with all this other stuff, be a coach. That might be the best way to go about it.
And if he turns that down, then everybody, like fans.
Then it's just, I mean, come on, what are we even doing? Like, then it's just you're just being a squeaky wheel for the point of being a squeaky wheel. There's no point. There's no bigger message you're trying to do. There's there's nothing other than you just want to try to be as annoying as possible. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But Be that as it may, Jimbo, this is the Friday forecast. This is where we go ahead and we're going to prognosticate all of the divisions. We've already done all the AFC. You can see all those videos. We have set, ready to go if you need to catch up. Today, we are starting in the NFC, and we're starting out on the left coast. We're starting out with the NFC West. So let's pop on over to our screen here. And Jimbo, the floor is yours. Take it away. Who you got there in the old NFC West?
All right, so to kick off the division like the past couple weeks, I'm going with the 49ers to win the division. Obviously, they're a heavy favorite to win the Super Bowl, make it to the Super Bowl. We'll see about that.
I definitely think they're the NFC favorites going into the season. I would have to say.
Yeah. I mean, they'll be up there. I'm not saying they're going to be a wild card or anything like that, but they're going to win the division. It's going to be, I think, a competitive for the division champ.
I see that. You have the Rams right up there.
The Rams, yeah. And I'll talk about the Rams in a second here. But the reason why I have the Niners winning the division, Kyle Shanahan's just a mastermind when it comes to calling offensive plays. Even before Brock Purdy, if you think about when they first made the Super Bowl, they had Garoppolo there. Debo, I believe, was young. He was either a rookie or first year, second year receiver. He didn't have these pieces that he has now. So that helps out. And as far as the division with them, the Rams are going to be the toughest team out of this division for them. I forget schedule-wise if I have them splitting with the Niners but it's going to be close between those two. The only thing going into the season as of right now, as far as this recording, is the drama with your favorite player that you obviously stated yesterday on the show.
No. Don't you misquote me. Don't you do that. I have no problem with Brandon Ayuk as a person, as a player. I think there's no don't you do that. Don't you do that. There's nothing wrong with Brandon Ayuk. So the situation
how he
that the Niners and himself and his agent and the Steelers and the whole thing, that to me is the annoying thing. Like, all right, like everybody needs to either do it or don't. Yeah. But shut up. But don't say like I don't like him. Don't say I'm not. I like Brandon Ayuk. I'm a big Brandon Ayuk fan. Don't get me in trouble. Don't get me in trouble for shit I didn't do.
You're right on the border about to snap, and that's what I was trying to push it to. But the other
I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break.
The other thing that is, in my opinion, flying under the radar here is the fact that Trent Williams is still holding out.
I think that is the bigger problem right now with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Is that all the attention seems to be on the Ayuk situation, and everybody keeps on forgetting that Trent Williams still isn't signed. Like, he's still holding out. So, I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah. And that's Brock Purdy's blind side. So,
and that's the thing. Purdy needs that protection.
Yeah.
Or it's going to end up like the NFC Championship game 2 years ago. Like he needs to.
The Eagles
need somebody there.
Hurt him.
Well, yeah, you did. You purposely hurt him. You know, the Eagles fans and the Eagles players, and so I blame all of Philadelphia and all the Eagles fans around like that. I think it was a collective effort. I'm sure somebody put some bad juju on him. Not Juju Smith-Schuster. He's done, but you know.
Well, he might be going back to Pittsburgh as a backup role. That's the latest rumor I saw.
Man.
We'll see. But so going on to the second place, I got the Rams there at 11-6. Not a bad record.
I was gonna say that's pretty good. That should be a playoff spot.
Yeah, and if you look at that Rams team from last year, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name. The rookie wide receiver that.
How do you not know how to say his name? How?
Hold on. Puka Nakua.
Yeah, hey, first time. All right. I was getting ready. I was going to be so ready to just roast your ass for the rest of this episode if you were going to be like that. Like, come on.
And the funny part of my notes here, just his name is like font size 4. Everything else is the regular font. I don't know why it did that. So I'm like squint there. I had to pull a Jameis Winston. But going into his second season, he should be even better. I believe he's healthy. Matthew Stafford comes back. We know what he could do. The only question mark with this team is how much of losing Aaron Donald is going to affect that defense. And honestly, I don't know. Like, does the offense pick up the slack that the defense will lose that little bit, or so? But I still think they're gonna give the Niners a run for their money for the division. But I think in the end they'll end up coming in second place, a wild card spot, and then Seattle. I have them coming in at 7-10. New coaching staff, new head coach, new defensive coordinator, new offense coordinator. They picked up the head coach, or they picked up the defensive coordinator as their new head coach from Baltimore. So he's going to turn that defense around. I think it's going to be at least 2 years before you see like the Legion of Boom type defense. So that's one aspect of that. Offensively, they're okay. They're average. So I think offensively they'll be able to win some of the games for the team and pick up the slack for defense. Cardinals are obviously in a rebuild mode in a sense. They drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. So Kyler Murray has a legit weapon probably since Larry Fitzgerald. Because I mean, what other receiver after him did they have?
They had. Why is my name? I hate my brain. I really do.
That's what I mean. Like, you have to sit there.
No, he's on the Titans now. He just got injured.
DeAndre Hopkins.
D-Hop. I don't know. How did I forget DeAndre Hopkins? I don't know what. Again, my brain is. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, like they had DeAndre Hopkins, and I remember watching. They came off the field one time on the sideline, and I saw Kyle Murray was yelling at DeAndre Hopkins and being like, and I was like, of all the people to yell at that team, of people who maybe weren't doing their jobs or weren't doing the right thing, DeAndre Hopkins was not that guy.
Yeah.
And you kind of saw DeAndre Hopkins' face of it. Like, first of all, professional, because I would have went. I mean, me and Kyler Murray would have had a problem after that.
Yeah.
Especially him, just would have picked him up by the scruff of his neck and been like, but you saw on his face, he was like, bruh, like, come on. So, like, that's what I mean. Like, that's probably why he ended up in Tennessee anyways, like, anywhere but around this goofball who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So,
the other thing is that they did help kind of rebuild that offensive line, which has not been that good for Kyler Murray. And as far as Kyler Murray, I'll tell you what, like, and I've said this on the show a couple times. I believe even when you rejoined here, even when I was by myself, I just don't think Kyler Murray is a good quarterback. I don't think he's good in Arizona. So even with Marvin Harrison Jr. being drafted, I don't think that's going to be enough to help him go to that next step.
Here's the shame of it. I think Kyler Murray could have been a good quarterback, and you saw a lot of it in the first season that he was there. I honestly think if he just would have stopped playing Call of Duty,
yeah,
like there was a lot of promise there. Now, injuries are what they are. You can't predict them. You can't help anything like that. Like, the best you can do is train, and hope that you don't, train your body to hopefully not get injured, and to deal with the stresses of playing football. Sometimes that happens, but overall, injuries are something you can't predict or control. But outside of the injuries, like, again, there were flashes there with Kyler Murray where he could be really good, and that's it. When they gave him that one contract, that I equate it to how we kind of took the Trevor Lawrence contract on this cycle, which was That's a lot of money for a pretty big question mark at this point.
Yeah.
And then when it came out that in the contract was you have to have a minimum amount of film watching time, it's like, why is that a mandatory part of a contract that he has? Like, is he not watching film? And then all of a sudden comes out about all the Call of Duty stuff. The fact that he doesn't watch film. There are weeks and weeks that he has never watched film. It's like, oh no. Like,
Yeah.
so, and then it's like, okay, well, we took that out of the contract. It's like, that's too late. It's already too late. Once that comes across, once everybody finds out, it's like, that's a problem. You know, so again, I think Kyler Murray is one of these stories of like could have been so good and just kind of hasn't been. And granted, Arizona has been through a lot of transitions, through a lot of everything like that, but I mean the issues between him and Cliff Kingsbury, how he threw Kingsbury under the bus, and it's always everybody like it was always Kingsbury's fault. It was always for some reason D-Hop's fault. Like, no, like that's the thing.
Yeah.
You saw him on the sideline; he was yelling at his coach, and he's yelling at D-Hop, and he's yelling at. It's like it's everybody else's fault except the guy who doesn't prepare for the game. No, that's not how that works. So, if something happens, if he suddenly wakes up and is like, I can be a good quarterback again, and I'm gonna double my efforts, and I'm gonna dedicate myself, and I'm gonna prepare, and I'm gonna look at film, and I'm gonna practice. If he does that, he can be a good quarterback, even for as short as he is. He can be a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He's very mobile. He can find the spots. He's got a decent arm. I'm not saying he's got a cannon, but he's got a decent arm. He can play in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like he's an NFL quarterback, but he has to he has to be better than what he is. And we're starting to get to the last chance saloon here, I think, for him, because if he doesn't perform this year, especially having Marvin Harrison Jr. there, Morrison Harrison Jr.
Morrison?
I don't know, Jim Morrison. But again, if he doesn't perform, having him as a weapon and doesn't show any progress, and the Cardinals don't do much, you know. Again, there doesn't seem to be great prospects for quarterbacks coming up in the draft next year, but at some point you're going to start looking at, do we deal him? Do we try to trade for another one? Do we, like, what do we do? You know, that kind of situation. So, best of luck to the Cardinals, because spoiler alert, me and you have the Cardinals in the same spot. Different record, same spot, though. I just don't, I don't think they're going to match up well with the rest of that division. But speaking of which, let's jump over and see what I think about the NFC West. And in that case, we've got this. And I have, again, the 49ers. I have in first place there at 14-3. Like we had mentioned, like we had talked about, I think the Niners are the class of the division and maybe the class of the NFC. I think they are a clear front runner again for the NFC to make it to the Super Bowl. I think, again, the only team or teams that might be, at this point, a threat to them are the Detroit Lions and maybe, on the outside, the Eagles. Maybe. And again,
As
we'll
long as
see.
Big Dom stays there.
We have to... Fuck that big fat Italian bastard. No, but seriously, if the Eagles can rewind the tape and go back to their 2022 selves,
Yeah.
then of course you got a shot. But if they continue to play like they played for the last half of last year, it's going to be a very long, very loud season down there on Broad Street. It's not going to be great.
Yeah, you'll be seeing me on the Ben Franklin Bridge.
Stop it. Don't, that's such overdramatic. In second place, I have the Seahawks, believe it or not, at 8-9. Just below 500. Again, like a lot of points that we were talking about, I think that they are not quite a team in transition, but, you know, again, they have a new coach. Like you said, they have a new defensive coordinator. I think they're trying to rebuild that defense a bit. Like you said, not quite Legion of Boom era, but I think they're going to make a step forward. I think moving on from Pete Carroll, and I still think at the time, like, it was a mistake. Whether you like Pete Carroll or not, the guy could ball. The guy was a good coach, you know, and maybe they just wanted a fresh view, a fresh take, whatever it is, a change for change's sake. I don't know. Those usually don't go well. And again, I don't think that's going to push the Seahawks into the playoffs this year. But I think Geno Smith is a good enough quarterback to help them progress, and to I think the offense can do well enough. I think the defense is good enough to win them some games. And like I said, they're below 500. They're 8-9. It's not anything special, but I think that's where they go in this division. I think where me and you have the disconnect is with the Rams. Because I have the Rams in third place. I have them at 7-10, which is what you had the Seahawks and Cardinals at. A couple of my big reasons is, number one, Aaron Donald's gone. And that is a big motherfucking reason for that. Now, I know they do have other players on defense. I know they're not slacking or anything like that. But losing a first ballot Hall of Famer like him, who honestly can still play.
Yeah.
You know? Like we saw last year with the clip with Geno Smith, when he gets open, it's, oh my God. You still wouldn't want to see Aaron Donald coming for you. It's not great. So I think that is a big thing. And secondly is Stafford's health. Like, again, can he stay healthy? Can they, again, and they have Puka Nacua there, who was a big breakout star last year. They still have Cooper Kupp, who, again, has his own injury issues. Can he stay healthy for the whole year? I think that's a big question mark. Because outside of that, like who are you going to have? Stetson Bennett coming in?
Yeah.
From his season off for rehab, I think he was doing, or whatever. But glad to see him back. Glad to see him. He was in the preseason game last week. Did a serviceable job. But and not only that, but Stafford is, again, it's another year older. It's not even a case of whether or not, it's an injury bug, or is the injury gonna, is he gonna be injured? Can he stay healthy? Can he do any of that? But also, is it, is he starting to diminish, or is his skills starting to go down? Like, how are we going to do that? I know some people are going to sit there and say, "Well, you're fucking stupid. You don't know what you're talking about." And like I said, I'm sure I am, and I'm sure that I have this prediction up here. I'm sure it's going to be wrong. I'm sure the Rams will be 13-4 and right there and in the playoffs and blowing everybody out and having a great time. I'm sure. I'm not saying that. And again, they made the playoffs last year, and played the Lions right there, right to the end. So it's not a case of where the Rams were bad last year. I'm not saying they weren't. I'm just saying I think there are injury questions. I think when you look at the season like that, it just here. Let me take a look. How did I actually break this down? I want to look and see what I had for their. What did I have for their schedule breakdown? Let me pull this up here real quick. And what do we got? So they're playing week 1 against the Lions. I have them losing. I think that's a fair assessment. I think we can agree that the Lions might beat them in Detroit. Week 2 at the Cardinals, I have as a win for them. Week 3, the Niners come into L.A., there is no home field advantage at SoFi Stadium. There's not. That place turns into Levi Stadium South whenever they go in. Whenever another team comes in, the other team has more fans there. It just, unfortunately, is what the case is. I have the Niners winning that. Then I have the Rams going to Chicago. I have them winning that game. So right now I have them as 2-2.
Okay.
Then I have the Packers coming in. I think I have that as the Packers win. Then week 6 is a bye. Then I have the Raiders coming into LA. I have that as a win. Like I said, that's going to be a home field advantage for the Raiders. The Vikings come in. I actually have that down as a Vikings win. And I think I had that down as a Vikings win even with Sam Darnold. I think I had the idea of having Sam Darnold in there, which so that really doesn't change too much about how I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Then they travel to Seattle. I have that as a Seattle win. Then I have the Dolphins coming into LA. One of those games, I have the Rams winning that one. Then Rams go to New England. I have that as a Rams win. Eagles go to LA. That's an Eagles win. LA then goes to New Orleans. I have LA winning there in New Orleans. Buffalo comes all the way out to Los Angeles. I have that as a Buffalo win. I have the Rams go to San Francisco. One of those games. I have the Rams winning in San Francisco. Rams then go to New York. So they're going on a full cross-country trip. Going from San Francisco, then they got to travel all the way to East Rutherford to play the Jets. I have the Jets winning that game. Cardinals in Week 17 at LA. I have the Rams winning that one. And in Week 18, Seattle at LA. I have Seattle winning that one. And that's how we get to the 7 and 10. Outside of that Viking game, I don't think I can give them another one. And actually, you can give them a couple of more losses if you wanted to. Because you can have them losing to the Dolphins easily.
Yeah.
And losing the game to San Francisco in San Francisco. So if anything, they could be 6-11 if I was really thinking about this.
Yeah.
Maybe you give them the Raiders game, so they're back to. But even then they're just back to 7 and 10 if you want to start switching games around like that. So that's what I mean. Is this is just how I look at it based on the schedule, based on how it goes, how I feel about each week, each game, as we were doing it, and that's what I came up with. So, like, there's not a lot of, like, I try to keep, like, the reason I did this because I wanted to keep the bias out of it. I wanted to be like, I didn't want to just have, I'm picking this team because I like this guy or I like this team. I was like, I want to look at it on a week-by-week basis against what team they're playing. And again, as the season goes on, we don't know what's going to happen. Who's getting injured, who's not, who's in, who's out, blah, 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 blah. Who's got a bug up their ass, who doesn't, who's playing well, who's not. Like, we don't know any of that. So this is all just Nostradamus shit, like and like I said, at the end of the day, this could be absolutely flipped upside down. Except the Cardinals aren't going to win the division, so it's not going to be that upside down. But because I know some people are going to get pissed and going to be like, how can you have the Rams so low? That's terrible. They were great. They were a playoff team list. You have it like that? I was like, that's how I see the season breaking down. It's just I'm sorry. It's just,
I'd be one to bet the Rams made the playoffs because of Philly. 'Cause I think with Philly losing that last game, actually knocked out a couple teams that were sitting to go in, like that needed Philly to win to go into the wild card spot, like Seattle.
Because let me see. I think I have the. Yeah, I could pop this up here just so we can look at it because I have it. Oh, that's kind of off here. But it's just how I feel. It's just how I look at it. And you see here, yeah. So you have that's how I have it breaking down here. You got I don't know if you're going to find too many people outside of Rams fans, as few as there are, that think that they're going to go to Detroit and beat them opening week. Now, can they? Yes. Again, the Lions did the same thing last year to the Chiefs. So it can happen. I'm not saying it can't, but like, I don't know. To me, I think this seems logical. It feels logical to me, is all I'm saying. I just feel like it's logical. Like, this is, I don't know.
That's the thing about, like, the NFL. Like, me personally, the first 4 weeks are the most wildest weeks of the season because, we're giving these predictions.
Always.
The Niners are going to be 14-3. I've got them at 12-4, whatever it was. They could go 0-4 the first 4 weeks. On paper, yes, they are a very good team, but what's going to happen in those 4 games?
Whenever we do our picks, our King Cup championship picks that I do with you guys and family and friends that we have every year, that's usually it. That first 4 to 6 weeks, really, like almost the first half of the season is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Like just because like you think like you just when you think you have a pretty good grasp on, okay, I'm starting to get it. I understand who's good, who's not, anything like that. I think this game could be close, or I think this game could be anything like that. And then like last year in week 2, you get a 70 to 10 fucking game or something. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, didn't see that one. Did not see that one coming. I thought the Broncos would lose, but not like that,
Yeah.
So I think there's a bit of that. And like I said, this is just what we think now. I don't know why I feel like I'm always so defensive about this, and not so much defensive, but what's the word I'm looking for? Non-committal, maybe. Like I don't want to come off like I'm fucking Skip Bayless. I don't want to come off and say like,
Oh.
well, I guarantee the Rams are gonna suck. Absolutely not. I'm not gonna do that. And I noticed that the other day too. I do that a lot. I'm just like,
I mean, you
just
did
my thoughts,
guarantee
just my opinion. It's just what I'm saying, anything like that. But
you did guarantee the Cardinals weren't going to win the division.
they're not. Listen, come on. That one I feel pretty safe about. Do I think they might have more than 4 wins? I think it's certainly possible. I think it's absolutely
Yeah.
more than possible. But I don't think they're winning the division. Let's be honest. Unless like Brock Purdy gets injured and is out for like the whole year,
Yeah.
which is a possibility. You never know. I think this is the Niners division, and clearly the Niners division.
Yeah.
And you think it is the Niners division as well, but you think it's a hell of a lot closer than I do. You think it's a one game stop there between the
Yeah.
Rams and the 49ers, which again, just look at that. Look at how different we have it. It's so great.
Let me see. Let me look at my picks as far as the Rams and the 49ers playing each other.
Again, I have them split. I have the Niners. I have both of them winning on the road, surprisingly. Which is, I think it's probably, like I said, you could easily see the Rams losing that one in Santa Clara. And again, for a team that has one of the nicer stadiums in the league, both them and the Chargers have no home field advantage whatsoever to speak of. So,
So I actually have them splitting. So the Rams, if say they step in dog shit and they beat the Niners twice, they win the division just by a tiebreaker. Because then they would.
no,
be,
it wouldn't be tiebreaker. In your
Or
mind,
you
if they
flip-flop.
beat the Niners, they'd be 12-5, and the Niners would be 11-6.
11-6. So that's how close I have it. Is basically
So you have it
comes
where
down to
is
one
if
game.
the Rams split with the Niners, they win. I mean, if they sweep the Niners, they win.
Yeah.
If they split with the Niners win, and then if the Niners sweep them, then they're 2 games back, and then you're talking about 10-6, and then it gets a little more dicey with talking about the playoffs.
Yeah.
But man, I just love talking football though. I'm so excited it's coming back. I'm so excited we're here.
I gotta say this. That, when you used to live in the area here, and we would meet up down at my dad's bar or whatever, right around this time, and college football would be the big talk down there before the NFL talk, and everybody's arguing, and 10, 15 people argue with this person, argue with that person. I just like to sit back and be like, football's back.
Yeah.
Because we're all arguing. We're all
Just
fighting with each
everybody's
other.
there. You're talking about, like you said, on the college side, who's ranked who, they should be ranked there. Look at that. Penn State should be there. You don't know what you're talking about. And then having the NFL stuff there, like I said, I remember that's how our shift started. We went we were watching a preseason game.
Yeah.
It was the Cowboys and somebody. It was just something that was on. They were like, we were going to have a little drink there. Then we were going to go and see a friend of
Ashland.
ours, to go see, kind of wish them off because they were leaving Northeast
Yeah.
PA, and they were kind of having stuff, and we were like, yeah, no, we'll have a drink here, and then we'll go up and see her. Never left the bar. Never left the bar. We started drinking there and drinking there. That was the day I think you broke in your Eagles mug. You were like, I got a brand new cool Eagles mug. I'm going to bring it down to the bar and use it, because you used to live right above it.
Yeah.
So you went upstairs, got your Eagles mug. You were like, oh.
You hated that mug.
I hated that stuff. I hate it. No, the thing I hated more than anything was when you would tell Bree, the bartender, or whoever was bartending at that time, to make sure to give me the pint glass that had the fucking Eagles logo on it. You piece of shit. Like, that was the worst. Because at that point, I don't want to drink it. It's like, if I drink from it, am I tacitly accepting Eagles fandom? Like, I don't want to do that. Like, it's gross. I don't want to do that shit. So fuck you on that. I don't blame Brie. She was an innocent victim in all of it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the owner's son, so she has to listen to me. They all have to listen to me.
Be careful. Be careful. Be careful how far we go.
Yeah. That's why
I love Brie. Brie is awesome. She's a lovely little hippie. So but yeah, that pissed me the fuck off.
I miss that mug, man. Because what it was you put it in the freezer and the crystals inside of the mug made it.
Well, yeah, because I have something very
cold.
similar.
Yeah.
I have a. Go ahead and pull this out. I have one. This was actually a gift from my fiance's parents, or my wife's parents. I don't know why I keep on saying it. I go between girlfriend, fiance, and wife. It's like a weird thing, but I have kind of the same thing, except it's a devil's one.
Yeah.
Because when you want championship hockey, you watch the New Jersey Devils.
You don't drink out of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is what you want to do. Like, the last time the Flyers won the Stanley Cup was 1975. Which, if you ask anybody about 1975, the most relevant thing is Matty Healy banging Taylor Swift last year. That's all anybody remembers about 1975. Nobody remembers that the Flyers even won the cup. So, relax.
It's coming. It's coming.
So was Matty Healy, apparently. Stop talking about Taylor Swift! No, I do what I want. And she's hot. So, I go off. She's so stupid. Whatever you... Listen, that could be debatable, but those Evertour bodysuits are not bad. So, and listen, I'm married to a Swiftie. I have to see this shit every day. So, if I have to see it, I'm going to make the best of it, and I'm going to make all of you suffer with me. And it's not that bad of suffering. It's not looking at a hot girl dance around on stage and shake her ass at everybody. Not that bad. Especially more recent. Like, for some reason, apparently she's put out a notice to all the photographers by the stage and stuff like that. She put out like a request list for shots to take and what to look at and everything like that. And apparently she put out to them, take pictures of my butt. Like, she just wants them to focus on, and she does little cheeky butt shots now, and I was like, whatever Travis has done to her, sir, I salute you. Thank you so much. You are doing a service for not just the United States of America, but for the entire world. Thank you. Okay, so enough of me being a awful misogynist and patriarchal, disgusting sexual pervert about Taylor Swift. That's gonna wrap it up here, I think, for our NFC West preview and prediction to see how this all went. Jimbo's a little bit different than mine's, but we both have San Francisco 49ers winning the division. Next week, we switch it over to the NFC South.
Okay.
Just I don't know how to describe that division, but it's there, and we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Could it be the shortest show that we've done? Maybe. I don't know. Tune in and see. Like, share, and subscribe. All those buttons down there. Hit that notification bell. Make sure you hit all so that whenever we pop up with a new show, like next week's Friday forecast, or the countdown comes on Tuesday, or the main podcast coming out on Wednesdays, or live streams I think we're going to do another test run for our live broadcast. Maybe this Saturday. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll see. We'll schedule it. If not, and see. But I kind of want to get one more in before the regular season starts. And so make sure, again, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when we pop on with that. Outside of that, Jimbo, any parting thoughts? Any last words?
The only parting thought I have is PetSmart. You need to get some Notre Dame Halloween costumes for my dog. That's the only team you don't have on your website. But other than that, that's that.
Well, Notre Dame, I think, number one, they control their own licensing. So they're not like when you see like all the other colleges there, it's because they go through the NCAA. Notre Dame has to go through Notre Dame. And just a final little point to that, stop dressing the fucking dog. Anyway, for your good friend Jimbo, I am your boy King. Adios.